Hello, Internet. Why did I say it like that? Hello, Internet. Hello, Internet. Hello, Internet. It appears that I have a fight coming up. And so, being overweight and somewhat out of shape, like whether it was my sort of to my liking or not, I now have a date. Or it appears I have a date but no opponent. So I gotta get fit, haven't I, really? A lot of my fitness depends on how my body feels. I was in a car crash over Christmas. And it was an insurance job as well, the fucker. It's difficult to prove, but as such, my back was goosed. And I just had to sort of figure out a way to make it not goosed and take lots of strong painkillers for quite a long time. However, my base of fitness, despite having a completely goosed back for ages before and after, well, just on the back, it was crazy. I thought I was losing the feeling in my legs. You want to be scared? Bloody hell. So yeah, walking the dogs was hard. But fortunately, prior to Christmas and the New Year, I was consistent. I am consistent. I like it. When my body allows, i.e. when I'm not fucked up. And sounds like I have a fight. So cardio is now begun. I'm looking for somewhere to train. I've been training at Hook and Jab in Warrington, which is probably the best place. My wrist is hurting a bit. I have this weird thing where I can I think this is where I struggled with boxing originally and why I never thought of it as a possibility, because I was too nice. But so many times you can get kicked before you develop, I call it channeling hell. I can choicefully channel all of the pain that I've ever suffered, basically. And without sounding like virtue signaling, there was quite a bit. So, put it this way, it'll make a good book, but more on the boxing. So, I don't actually know. Last time I fought at heavyweight, I'm getting cramp in my toes doing this. Last time I fought at heavyweight. So, that's obviously not going to happen now because I've since lost weight. I'm currently probably a cruiser. I'm a bit more than 14 at the moment, albeit I have been doing a lot of calisthenics in my body weight. I've sort of seen the weight gain as I don't like going to places after the stuff that happened to me. First I don't particularly like dealing with people, no offense people, but also I don't enjoy going to places with people there. I've become a bit reclusive in that sense, but by choice. When you go down the personal development rabbit hole and you go two-footed, it's incredibly difficult to remain, what's the word? Basically, when you can see that someone hasn't done any work on themselves and they're causing anything other than neutral, if they cause anything that's not in the going positive side, if positive and negative exists and there's a scale, if anyone's causing shit of any kind at any level because they haven't developed their tools, I just get I just find it boring having to watch people just fuck stuff up. Anyway, so I'm not very good at going to places, and I'm too pretty to spar. Look at that face. You see that jawline coming back and everything. It's been years since I've seen that. I mean, albeit it is shrouded in dairy milk, but so yeah, fight news incoming, I think, towards the end of May, which gives me time to fix this back properly. It seems to be linked to tight groin. I've been doing yoga for quite a few years now. I've always struggled with my back for the rugby thing because obviously I wanted to go professional at rugby and I got pretty close, to be honest. I was supposed to be going down on a pathway with the Chiefs, Exeter Chiefs, but then life had other plans. God had other plans. So I've ended up back in Warrington from Spain via France, and big sniff on it. There was a kid sniffing behind me on the bush yesterday. I was thinking, I know what you've been doing. So yeah, fight coming up. If they can find me an opponent, I need to work with the promoter on that. It's a weird situation now because I want to find a promoter that I can work with that sees the potential in the story. I don't want to have to do it out of my own pocket, all the PR, like videos and things like that, but it doesn't appear to be much in the way of compassion in the world. So why would I expect anything to be given to me? Despite losing all the weight and stopping drinking and stopping smoking. It's like, yeah, but you've still done fuck all in the eyes of society, in the eyes of social media and stuff. So, somewhat regretfully, hello internet. But I'm excited about fighting. I was outmanned, outgunned, outclassed last time. I'm 0-1 in the white collar, and I've just done my first run, and I even feel like that's super tight. That doesn't feel right. I'm 0-1. I got put in against someone who had been boxing for 20 years because I was kind of the only one that had any sort of base understanding of boxing at the time. Not including head movement. There was this distinct lack of head movement, but got a new nose out of it, didn't I? So in that light, I'm hoping that I'll get properly matched, because the white collars, yeah, no offense to anyone that, well, who gives a shit? They only really want to get into it for the money. There's no they don't care about the fighters. And it's always only a one-off. That's why I want to work with a promoter who sees legs in the story and wants to match me up. Ideally, I'd fight journeyman and stuff, but that means that I'll have to go down the amateurs. And I did have my eyes on the developmental championships, but it ties in again. Like, I don't really want to do the classes. I don't really want to do anything with other people there. I mean, I'm happy to do a little bit of sparring, but I'm also conscious that I've got other stuff that I want to do in my life. I said to my neighbour not long ago, they said, well, maybe you could go pro in a year. And this was like a year ago, and I was thinking, do I really want to get punched in the face for a living? But that's where the head movement comes in. But yeah, I don't like going to the classes. I don't so much get anxiety anymore. I struggle socially. I definitely struggle more socially than I used to. I used to just not give a fuck. I was probably kind of... I definitely struggle more socially, which seems to be fading. There was a shitload of panic attacks, but fortunately they're only in sort of super aggressively intense situations that hopefully don't need to happen anymore. So I'm going to be doing these videos still because it looks like I've got something to make content for. And I have been doing content already. Look at my toes there. Look, you can see how dirty my socks are. They're quite clean on as well. I've even got, look, this is what having a dog's like. I have outdoors on my feet. There's just hairs and stuff. It's the banned from upstairs now anyway. So, yeah. Time to shift some timber. I'm currently 14 something. I'd have to check. Again, I have been binging. I've been in inverted commas struggling a bit of late. So I don't have a terribly healthy relationship with food. I comfort eat. Dopamine hits in it. So that's what, honestly, if I didn't box or run, or I don't really run as much, but if I didn't like play rugby or box or whatever, boxing mainly of late, I would be huge. I managed to stop the binging over Christmas, but I've noticed if you do an extreme fast of any sort, there's always a massive kickback after. So really, the only way to do it is consistency. You just have to be consistent, and you have to find a routine of what works. And also, knowing what you're going to do when you're going to do it takes out the thinking of what am I going to have for tea, what am I going to wear. That's why I've started wearing the same thing every day. I want to take that out, that headspace, because I think I'm probably a bit autistic, to be honest, Because if I'm wearing something for the wrong temperature, I don't know about anyone else, but I get all unsettled. If I'm not dressed perfectly for the weather, I get really unsettled. So, yeah, there'll be quite a bit of yoga. I imagine there'll be a number of... Look at that ass! Imagine there'll be... Look at those balls as well. But it's not made for kids, is it? I imagine there'll be quite a number of videos done from these positions, albeit I feel like I'm selling myself. I feel like a stripper after doing that. I've gone red, a lot embarrassed. I'm only making a video in my yoga room or recovery room. So yeah, fucking Lenny and Carl. Someone's gonna get Lenny'd up and someone's gonna get taken to Carl. And by that I mean school. We're going old school. Lenny and fucking Carl. Shout out Testard. I think actually Testard didn't refer to his hand, his fist as that. That was when we were at school. We were naming our balls. What are you gonna call your balls? He called his Lenny and Carl. I thought, mate, he smashed it there. That's a really good one. So I'm nicking it, Tessie. It's Lenny and Carl, bruh. So yeah, I've got a coach looking for somewhere to camp me, in essence. I'm looking at going away somewhere as well. Probably won't have the opportunity because of setting the businesses up and stuff, but it will literally just be trying to be consistent. I don't really go out, I don't go out anywhere. I don't go on nights out and stuff like that anymore. I think when you've got purpose, I think a lot of that's escapism, and I just don't want to escape, I want to crack on. So yeah, I don't really have in that sense of like being young and stuff. When I was younger and having distractions, like they're kind of all just dissipated and floated away into the ether. So I have been listen to my diction, I have been doing a lot of pull-ups. So my back, I think, is starting to thicken up, but because obviously I'm overweight, that appears to be the way that I sort of what's the word? Rationalising putting on some weight. You know, I'm having a bit of a shitter. I'm going to eat more chocolate than I normally would. Papa John's have got March Madness on, and I was like, I didn't really want to cook. I had my Huel as well. So it was just like, all right, well, make the best of a bad situation. You're putting on weight, right? So let's just do more calisthenics. So I've been doing more struts. I was going to say struts, more bodyweight squats, more pull-ups. I'm trying to keep on top of the stretching because my bad back is linked to some tightness here. Cover those, but I don't want to feel like a stripper selling my body. It's linked, so there's some tightness here, which then ties into my back, and that's an issue. That's stopped me from doing anything really for quite some time, apart from maybe getting my head down on the businesses and stuff. But there's always a but. Yeah, it enabled me to get my head down on non-athletic pursuing. So really, I think what's best to do? I'll have to do videos because then that's the world we live in nowadays. Don't you just sometimes wish you were born before and like all this Instagram, social media stuff was just not here? I don't like feeling misjudged. It happens all the time. I went into Clifton's bathrooms once and I had long hair, I had a ponytail at the time, and I said, there's a guy in there, and I was just being nice, and I said, oh, man after my own heart, obviously I've got long hair as well. He went, oh no, this is just being lazy. So in that, it was quite clear that he was saying that he was quite solid in the judgment that mine wasn't just because I'm lazy. And I was a little bit upset by that, because how the fuck does he know, judgmental prick? And also, it literally is because I don't like going to the barbers. I haven't been to the barbers since I did that video about going to the barbers. And that's, I don't know how many years ago. And prior to that, I hadn't been going to the barbers. I don't like going to the barbers. I think it's weird. I don't like it. You have to sit there and talk to someone that you don't know. And it's like, I was going to one in a place called Sutton Heath where I'm from, and if you were to go with the same one every time, it became a thing for the other one. It's just like, fucking hell, it's like the biggest fish we have to fry. So yeah, I'll be meditating, I'll be stretching. I definitely have to stretch this groin out. I'll be running, I'll be contenting. And this little piggy isn't going to stay at home, it's going to be gone soon. Yeah, I think I'm about 14.4 now. But again, I have been bulking up a little bit and taking protein creatine. So I think I'm what you would describe as a lump. I'm a big lump. Bit Andy Ruiz like. Vamos, Mexican chono. Chono. I always do that to my kid. Chono, I'm going to lucha libre your ass. And we do like lucha libre fighting with his toys, lucha libre wrestling. You know what? I wish there's two big heads there, isn't there? I like it. I just think it's a bit similar. Maybe because it's being similar means that it's cool. I didn't like that at the time, but actually looking at it now on the camera, it looks pretty good. So, do you know which one you never get seen as well? That one, and that's one of my favourite ones, and that never gets seen. Obviously I never see it, but that's probably my favourite one. And it never ceases to get the attention that it deserves. And there's a dagger in there as well. I mean, that was just to fill the space, kind of, but yeah. Well, where we are. And where we are is 9 weeks out. So I have 9 weeks to get fit. Because I'm starting from a pretty low base. And it would have been helpful if I hadn't had that car crash and this had been sooner. However, as I say, I have been able to sort things out in my personal life more. So, that being said, I am rusty with the boxing at the moment, but I did absolutely nail it completely, very, very consistently. And I think really that's going to have to be the case again. You know, don't go too hard, keep it consistent and build up the cardio, because really, truly, who's going to win is who's got the bigger tank, really. And that's probably not exactly true, but you know, in all sports, the most useful thing is having a big tank and not gassing. So I have 9 weeks. My legs feel tight. If you can see the scars on my leg. You see that there? Put one there as well. Both sides. So that's compartment syndrome, which has prevented me from running for years until I found a certain stretch where I kind of like, I have to make that. Oh, fucking hellfire. Good job I've not got a small deck in it. He says, tongue in cheek, cock in mouth. Coco Van, that's funny. Coco, what's that in between us when Will has his birthday and it's like, we're having Coco Van. And Neil and Jay order a stripper. And he says he's having Coco Van. It's not cock in the back of a van. Oh, what's the other one? I'm fucking butchering this. I'm going to feel myself going red. Cock in the back of a car. It's funny anyway. Less of the cock talk. More of the fighting talk. Because right now, look at my fingers have even gone chubby again. Right now, you would imagine someone that's this articulate and, you know, well-meaning, even if I do say so myself, doesn't have that kind of, that instinct to box. And while I am very sensitive and very caring and very compassionate, I also have a deep and burning passion for the sweet science. I don't really see it as a blood sport, but a lot of people do. I don't. That's kind of the side of it that I don't particularly enjoy. Especially the crowds at the fights. It can be flavoursome. And I would hope that, I don't know, maybe goals for the future would be to get more eyes on boxing that is sort of in more of a positive light. Obviously the YouTube thing's been, the influence thing's been really successful. And that's brought more eyes, which is great for the future of the sport. And I think, yeah, it opens lots of doors, and hopefully that means that myself, not necessarily the YouTube stuff, but it can open doors, you know, in terms of the bigger promotions. And I'm hoping that that's the case with this promoter here, and I'm hoping to work quite closely with him in order to build my record. You know, like in boxing, they usually fight against journeymen, and then they build up their skills and experience and record, and then, you know, they slowly get tested. With my age, I'm old, but I'm not that old. 35 in May. And yeah, I'm hoping to be a multi-sport athlete. However, boxing is my passion. Thing is, in rugby league, if I'm fit, it's really, really easy for me. And I know that sounds really big-headed. It's just I was natural athlete, so I did hurdles, long jump, sprinting. I did them all. So I never realised this actually, because I never was the best at any of them. Right? If you once you get past the district, that's easy. Then you get into the other, if you go to, I can't remember what it was. It goes from mid Cheshire, where we were, mid Cheshire to Cheshire to Northwest. As soon as you start stepping up, that's when you started come like second and third. Or when I was running against older lads, I would always come like third or fourth. When I was playing rugby, actually playing rugby against the older lads was easy. I went to a private school at that time, and there's not many. Well, I don't know. Rugby union's definitely got the private school thing, but the one that we were in, there wasn't very. You have to have a switch to do that kind of thing. I don't know. You have to have a natural aggressiveness, aggressivity. Is that a word? Have I just made up a word? I'm not really stretching. I should do this, otherwise I'm wasting my time. Yeah, you have to have that sort of killer instinct, and I never used to have it. I definitely had. Well, I don't know if that's actually true. It was quite aggressive, and it always helped me in sport, rugby and football. I should have played right back, not up front, I've realised. But back then, there was never... Right backs are just the shit ones. So, yeah. Lost my train of thought. But anyway, captain's vlog, as you might call it. And, yeah, we'll see how we get on. There obviously will be a noticeable change and improvement in my body shape and all that kind of stuff. So I'm doing getting fat, but I'm also, they're not that thick yet. Some guy laughed at me once on my skinny legs, Doug Dale. James Dugdale. Naughty, naughty, naughty. Naughty, naughty, smelly man. He once said I had a smell as well. You got a fucking smell. Your attitude stinks. But yeah, so this is me. I am the big sexy. There will be show-stopping moves. There will be fireworks. There will be chaos. There will be motherfucking victory. Because you're looking at the face of Lenny and Carl. Shum shum. All of it. I'm going to the top. If you want to see it, tune in. If you don't, piss off. But you know what? Wham bam, thank you man. I'm the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. And the better do be. So kiss my arse. Thank you, Lenny and Carl. Goodbye internet. Ding ding, I've gone red. See, I'm unfit. Peace out, brother.